Hi guys, thank you so much for joining me for another Titus Diorama and ToyReviews video. Today we are going to be reviewing the Marvel Legends X-Men Wolverine from the Build-A-Figure Marvel's Apocalypse Wave. So let's get to it. Alright guys, so like pretty much all Marvel Legends figures, the figure comes in a very nice window box design. This design allows you to easily see the figure inside and the accessories that come packaged with. It also has the Marvel Legends logo along with the Build-A-Figure that this particular wave is attached to, and what the character name is underneath. The side of the packaging has really nice artwork of the actual figure that's inside. And as we move to the back of the packaging, you can see a really nice product shot of the figure, along with a brief little description up in the top right-hand corner. And you can also see all the different Build-A-Figure figures in this wave to build the Apocalypse Wave. Myself, I might actually end up getting the Magneto and the Sabretooth at a later date because I need to add a few more villains to my roster of figures that I have. And really, if you think about it, you can't really have a Wolverine without having a Sabretooth with that. Alright guys, so that is the box. Let's go ahead and move on to the actual figure itself. Alright guys, here's Wolverine out of the packaging. And first of all, let's go ahead and start by looking at the accessories that he comes with. So he does come with a pair of fisted hands, as well as the pair of hands that come on him out of the packaging. Now these are very easily able to be swapped out by just pulling the hands off and plugging them back in. I do like the sculpt on these hands. They came out very well, and as you can see here, I'm just kind of demonstrating where you would plug them in on the figure. Now he also comes with the two cables needed in order to complete the Apocalypse figure, which is the Build-A-Figure of this wave. They came out very well. They're very nicely sculpted and painted, in my opinion. Now with that stated, let's go ahead and take a look at the actual figure himself and go on to the articulation. So I do like how the claws on this figure came out. They're very evenly spread out, which is really great. As well as they've done a really good job of the detail on this particular figure. The muscle tone is there. They have sculpting of the wrinkles. They also have sculpting of the hair on his arms. And we'll come back to that particular point later on here in the video. I love the face sculpt on this guy, and I also do love the paint job on this. There's only a couple small spots on here that I've got some smudges on it, but other than that, it came out really, really nice. This figure reminds me very much of the cartoon from the mid-90s. So as you can see, I'm pointing out a couple of those little blemishes that we have in the paint. But like I said, other than that, it's very well put together. I love, again, as I was talking about earlier, all the sculpting that went into this guy. Makes him look really nice. I also love the shoulder pads that they added on him here. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about the actual articulation that he comes with here. Now his head can look up quite far, and he can also look quite far down. and he can look left and right. Now, it's worth to mention that there is no head wobble in this, so you can't get him tilting his head. He's got butterfly joints which allow him to put his arms quite far back, and he can pull them quite far forward as well. His shoulders can go up and down pretty far, a little bit hindered by the actual shoulder pads, but the shoulder pads do move along with the arm, and he can do a complete 360. The arms do swivel at the shoulder, and he also has double jointed elbows. And his wrists do swivel up and down, and you can rotate them around as well. As you can see, the claws are getting a little bent out of shape. I'm just reworking them. Now he can lean forward quite far forward, and he can bend back not as far, but not a bad range. He does have a swivel at the hips, and it's worth to note that that is actually ratcheted, so it does have a nice clicking noise. And the belt does move a little bit. Now he can do the splits about that far. He can kick forward fairly far, but he cannot kick back too far. He does have a swivel at the top or the upper thigh. He has double jointed knees, which work really well. And he has some pretty good ankle pivot, and his feet can bend forward and backwards at a fairly well range, although the front range not as well. Now, the one thing I wanted to point out about the sculpting on the arms is that although they sculpted the hair, they did not paint the hair. It's one of the drawbacks I have about this particular figure. Other than that, this figure came out really well. So, with that stated, we're going to go ahead here in a second and move on to comparing them to some of the other Wolverine figures I have and some other Marvel Legend figures themselves. Alright guys, so here is the Apocalypse Wave Wolverine alongside Old Man Logan and the brown and yellow suit Wolverine that was released with the Juggernaut Wave. And here he is with his clone daughter, X-23, in her X-Force costume. And lastly, here he is standing alongside Captain America, Deadpool, and Black Panther. These figures are what the standard heights are for Marvel Legends, so you can definitely see that he is a bit shorter than the standard size. This is true with the yellow and brown suited Wolverine, Old Man Logan, and X-23 is also slightly shorter than these other figures.